Hi everyone, I was offered again the opportunity to review a paint by numbers kit, and since I had so much fun last time, I decided to do it. This new kit is done by DIY MTEL Educational, and it's a bit different than the last one I did. The last one had a stretch canvas, and this one came in a long rectangular box, so obviously there's no stretch canvas in it. But everything is nicely packed, and it comes with 24 little jars of paint. Some colors are fluorescent and some are more traditional colors. Then there's a tiny little card with the model of the painting on it. We also have a pack of 3 paint brushes with 3 different sizes. I appreciate having a flat brush in it. I think it really helps for larger areas. And then there's a very fine round one and a not as small other round one with a very pointy tip actually. The package also includes a couple of fasteners if you want to hang your painting. A little card with instructions, and then a large poster with the numbers. Actually, not all the numbers, but only the numbers for the fluorescent colors, and some more instructions. So it explains that we need to use the fluorescent colors first and apply 2 to 3 layers of them. And that's those colors that are going to give a really cool luminous effect to the painting. And finally, we have the canvas. It's rolled up, and it's quite different than what I'm used to. Usually, it's a white canvas and has all the numbers. This one is already colored, so it looks like it's going to be easier to find where the colors go. And the surface is actually pretty smooth compared to the back side that really has the texture of a canvas. So I started as directed with all the fluorescent colors. And right away I thought it was pretty tricky. So first, there are quite a few of them, and they are spread throughout the canvas. And on the instructions, it actually tells you the numbers on the little jars that correspond to the fluorescent colors. Now, I couldn't find right away the number on the jars. It happens to be on the side, and it's printed on it, but it's not very dark, so you don't see the numbers. They really don't jump at you right away. So what I did to make it easier for me to find them faster is that I wrote the numbers with a marker on top of the lids. That way I could spot the numbers much faster. Also, you might think that the colors being pre-printed on the canvas might be helpful, but actually it's quite confusing. Because the fluorescent colors are translucent, they're see-through, I understand why the canvas is not white, otherwise the colors wouldn't pop. You would see the white of the canvas through it. That said, some of the colors printed on the canvas are so close to one another, there's barely any difference between the values. When they're close to each other, you can actually spot them and know which one is which. But when there's only one area with one red, for instance, you do not know which one it is. So that is why you have that sort of map, that big paper with all the numbers. The numbers printed on this paper are only the numbers for the fluorescent colors. And the numbers for the regular colors are printed on the canvas, because the paint for the regular colors are supposed to be more opaque and they'll be able to cover the numbers printed on the canvas. So I must admit that I found it quite tedious to apply the fluorescent colors because I always had to refer to the map, and it took a very long time. You need to be very patient, and I wouldn't recommend this kit for children unless you know that they're very, very patient and very agile as well, because there are a lot of very tiny spots. And some of them are just like razor thin lines that there's no way to achieve with the brushes. In fact, I don't even think you can achieve that with any brush at all. They're so thin. But regardless, I did what I could with the fluorescent colors. Some areas I kind of had to guess which colors I had to use, but it doesn't really matter. When I was done with the fluorescent colors, I started using the traditional colors, and I just went by the colors of the sky, and then I went down the canvas and I picked one color and I tried to cover everything. I realized that because painting this canvas is so tedious, it would take me a very long time to do it. So for the purpose of this demonstration, I decided to paint only half of the canvas, and I thought it would be interesting to see half of it painted and half of it not painted yet. So some of the colors, especially the blues and some of the reds, are not very opaque, so you really need to add several layers. I did add at least 2 layers for each color. Some are still a bit streaky, but it's really normal. It really depends on the pigments of each color. That said, they're nice and creamy, and using them is very nice. The brushes are very nice as well. The round ones have a very fine tip, and I ended up using mostly the medium round one because I was able to paint the small details with that as well, as best as I could, but I wouldn't have been able to do any better with a smaller one anyway. Now, one thing that frustrated me is that some numbers didn't show. Not on the map, not on the canvas at all. They're numbers for the regular colors, and I couldn't find them anywhere. So often I had to guess, and the little card with the model of the painting, it's so tiny that you can't really see the details and find out which color to use. So I just guessed. Also, sometimes the lines don't show very well, so you have a little area to paint, but you're not sure if you have to stop at some point or continue using that color further. And so, again, I had to guess in many areas with the colors as well as with the areas I had to paint. As far as the canvas not being stretched, I don't think it really matters. I clipped it onto a board. I've seen people just taping it onto a drawing board. You can just use it as a large piece of paper. It will work just as well as a canvas. The only difference is that you're going to have to figure out how to frame it and hang it if you want to put it on your wall. A stretched canvas is almost ready to put on a wall. This is not. As far as I'm concerned, this kit has a lot of great ideas. I like the idea of the fluorescent colors because they really pop on the painting. I like the idea of the pre-printed canvas, but the execution is not very good. The colors are way too close to each other, and it's very hard to figure out which is which. I wish it was easier to figure out which numbers are where and where the painting areas end. I'd like the lines to be more defined so I can see them very well. So there were a lot of tedious moments when I painted this, but a lot of other more relaxing moments as well. So all in all, the painting is very pretty. It's fun to use different colors that aren't found very often in paint by numbers kits. You just have to be prepared and be very patient with this one. It can be done and the result will be very pretty. So thank you all for stopping by. I hope you liked this video. And if you're bored and don't know what to do, you should try a paint by number kit because it's always fun and relaxing. If you're interested in this one, I'll put the link in the description box below. And I wish you a wonderful day, and I'll see you soon with another video. Bye bye!